Hello, it's Becky Raisler. I have Becky's Journals on YouTube. On Instagram, I'm Becky's Journals. And thank you so much for watching today. Today I'm going to show you how I make ephemera using magazine cutouts. These are pictures that I have cut out from gardening magazines and catalogs wherein you purchase plants through the mail. And I had gone through, and I happen to be working in purple right now, but whatever color combination makes you happy. If you like the grungy look, you can use the grungy look for sure. I happen to be working in purple. I'm building up my ephemera stash for my purple journals. And I'm going to show you how I get these going and I decorate them today. So in my video just before this one, I talked to you about how I made ephemera blanks. I made like journaling cards and pockets and excuse me, tags and all kinds of things that were plain and undecorated. And I took my scrap bag and I took all the cardstock scraps I could find in my scrap bag, and I cut them down to sizes that I could use. Then I trimmed them, and then I rounded the corners and inked all the edges, and then I had a whole big stack of these cards ready to decorate. So I showed you that in my last video. Excuse me. Naturally, I start filming and get all choked up. Does that happen to you? Anyway, where was I? Oh no, I lost my thought. Oh God, I'm so silly. Okay, so this batch I am decorating. The first thing I did was made myself a whole bunch of cards with all those scraps that I cut out. I just took the photos that I had cut out from all the different magazines and I glued them to a cardstock backing. I rounded the corners and inked all the edges. These all can be made into lots of different things. But anyway, I have a stack of these magazine cutouts left that I haven't decorated yet. So I thought I'd stop and give you kind of an idea of how I go about decorating my ephemera. So here is some that I've already done so far, and I wanted to show you these. Start with this one. This is the one that's just finished. The glue has just dried, and that all it is a piece of cardstock with the picture glued to it. And then the next thing I did was put myself a little decoration around the left and around the bottom. I put a piece of trim, and I carried the silver gray looking into the stamp that I've got there. Then I added a circle that's different shapes, and things work, unrelated things work together if you have a variety of sizes and shapes and textures. And so when I go to work on decorating, excuse me, I am looking for a variety of size and shapes and textures. These two are different size cards, but I used a lot of the same shapes and the same items to decorate it, but I just applied it in a different manner. So this one, I started off with the things at the bottom and the thing at the side, and typically that's what I do when I'm making a journaling card. but the things that are down here aren't going to be your real focal point for a journaling card. I have my focal point up at the top. So when it fits into a pocket in a into a journal, this part will be sticking out and make you interested in pulling it out and taking a look at it. And one thing I wanted to tell you is that I always finish off the backs of my journaling cards. I never leave that hard edge up there at the top. I always put something to soften that hard edge at the top. That keeps your eye from just hitting that hard stop. It looks finished when it's done like that. So here's one that I have just finished. I added this little bit down here. First I put down some purple lace across the bottom, and then I put down the stamp in the circle, and then I added the little bit of crocheted lace, and then I added this, and then I added the lace across the top, and then added the circle with the bird. So if that gives you an idea of the order I make it. And I'm real happy with the way that one came out. But you could do this in any color scheme if purple is not your jam. Just think about the overall thing. If you're going to use it as a journaling card, make sure the back is simple to leave room for writing if people want to write on it. This one here, I started with the lace at the bottom, and then I put my lace up at the top, and then I added these elements here. And you may not be able to see it, but this back element right here, this is a washi sticker. It's transparent. It's a transparent or translucent washi sticker. And I used Fabri-Tac glue to glue it down. And that's the first time I've ever put a transparent washi sticker onto fabric, but it worked great. I love it. You may not be able to tell much from this photograph, but I really liked how that turned out. These are just those scallop circle punch that I have, and then this is a fussy cut bird that I cut out, and then I added my bling finally at the very end. The back is finished off with a piece of lace. Then this one right here, I started off with the base at the bottom, the dark purple lace. Then I added this little piece of, just a little scrap of lace that I happen to have. And then this is a fussy cut bird nest. And then I added a vellum, piece of vellum that I had that's transparent, and I folded it in half to make a tab. And then I added the little flower on top and the back. This is my favorite one. I like that. This one is a little bit more plain, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to continue and add a little something down here. But for now, I'm leaving it like it is. I started off with a little piece of lace at the bottom. Then I put my big piece of white lace at the top for like a tab, big tab. And then I built myself a flower. The back petals are fabric that I hand cut. And I do have a video on how to fold and cut fabric and paper flowers. But I made the one in the center out of paper with punches that I had. And then it wasn't big enough for this. And it needed some contrast with the white lace, so I made the fabric one to make it stand out. This one is one of the die cut slides that I have that I made. And it folds over, and I put on the inside of it, I put, these are real dried flowers on the inside, and then close it up, inked along the edges. I put the cellophane or plastic over it, and then I put my white piece of lace down. I put my little filigree die cut leaves down, and then I put the flower on top, and it's done. And this works because the background is a different pattern than the one that the outside of it is. It was made with double-sided cardstock. This one is one that I made as an experiment to see if I liked making the slides without the die cut. I wanted one that was bigger, so I cut myself a large piece of of cardstock, and then I found the photo here and glued it down. Then I put strips. They're about 3/4 inch strips on these three sides, and the bottom side has about 1.5 inch strip across the bottom. Then I put the dark, the solid purple lace down, the biggest piece. Then I put down there's a little ticket back there on top of the lace, and then there's this round scallop circle purple that went down, and then there's a little trading stamp that went down, and then this die cut, and actually it wasn't die cut, it was a stamp that I fussy cut out, flower there. Then I added this on the side and that up there. And I don't know whether I'm right-handed or what, but I typically do my decorations on this type of card in an L shape. So there, kind of an L shape at the bottom, L shape there, right that way. It looks balanced to me when I finish it. This one right here, I just had a piece of decorative cardstock, and I added this piece of fabric that somebody recently sent me in some Happy Mail, and frayed on the edges and let it hang off. Then I added the circle right there, and then I added this photo, and then I added this long ticket here, and this little trading stamp there, this piece of trim right here, floral trim, and then the flower last. The tab I did after I put down the fabric, and it's just a piece of cardstock with a piece of lace put over it, and the back. And guess what? I have not finished off this back the way I want to. What I need to do on this to make it look finished to me is to add a piece of lace or something right there to cut that hard edge. So probably something along that line. And that will be finished that way. Okay, now the next, once I get started, I've got all of these ready to go to decorate. And the next thing that I do, so I thought I had, oh, here's some more. Here's another one. I've got these left to decorate. And then what I will do is there's another one. They're here somewhere. Once I'm done with this, I'll switch off to another color. Maybe more neutral or something. But I've got these all lined up. And then what I do is I start putting, and I usually start with a piece of texture of some kind. I take it and move it around and see where I think I like the texture. And I think I like the texture like that on this one. And then I'll add another little bit. I had these all piled up the way I wanted them before I got started, but I wanted to show you what they look like. When I start playing with them. And so I dumped everything off, and here I am. But I go around and I give it a go with all my little doodads. And I just start piling little pieces, and I usually start with the lace scraps. And I start gathering things that I think might look good with each one. And then I just start laying it on there. This one I haven't figured out quite, but I picked out this and thought that might look good. This needs some more texture there. I think I like that gray on that one. Nope, that's not what I want. It's not what I want. I just try everything and see until I find something that floats my boat. This one just doesn't want to be anywhere. They were at one time. And by the way, when I use these, here's an example. I have a bunch of these stickers that I bought, and when I bought them, they had these great big white borders on them, and I cut them down, and then I ink before I take the sticker off the backing. I ink around the edge to knock that white back. I don't leave them large like that. So I'm looking for something that can be a focal point. And I have nearby lots of little things that are just sort of waiting to be used. Kind of like that bird in that one. But you see how I'm piling stuff up, and I'm looking for contrast. For instance, this one needs more texture, and this one is going to need some more interesting texture. And I just lay the stuff on top of it and sort of play with it and move things around until I get an idea of what I might want to do. Now, you're not limited to the size of these cards. Just because your scrap happen to be this one certain size, they don't have to stay that way. For instance, this one right here, when I put the lace on it, it extended the size of the card quite a bit. And I do like to put lace across the top of mine. This one, the card stops right about here, and all this has been added to it. So you're not limited. Like this goes way over the top. So you can go, you know, you don't have to stay inside the box, I guess. You need to think outside the box. So I need something to go with that. That looks a little bit too big, but I can go to the sides with this. And I can go on the top. I just don't know. But I can put the things there as an idea, and then I can come back to it and play with it once I get ready to glue it down. But I spend most of my time, a vast majority of my time is playing with things and moving things around. I do use a lot of these stamps. But that's what I'm doing. I'm just playing. Moving things around and playing. And don't forget, the small pieces of fabric can also be used. I have a little scrap box where I keep little pieces of fabric. But I kind of like, I've got a little piece of fabric there. I kind of like that piece of fabric with that one. Maybe some more texture on that one. And then I just sort of pile up all the different things that I think might go with it. And then once I've got a pretty good starting point, from there I can keep adding or taking away. Okay, so I've got a starting point. I will add lace and other pieces of texture to all of these. But the main thing is to figure out where your starting point is, and mine is usually some kind of texture, and finding out where I'm going to put on these. Sometimes, you know, you've got your focal point is going to be the butterfly, so I'm going to make a tab type top for that one, and I'll probably put some kind of decorative element across the bottom to give it a finished look. But that's how I get started. So I'm going to continue working on them, and you'll I'll be gluing things down and trimming them up, and kind of like a bird on that one. I had spent some time fussy cutting these little birds for these to see if I wanted to use them. So I always like to use some kind of natural elements. So birds and butterflies, plants, flowers always show up in mine. I don't have a bird or a butterfly on that one, so there's one for that. So I try to have plants, flowers, some kind of natural element, some kind of living thing, some kind of word or writing, and I haven't gotten those out yet, but I also have some die cuts that I made for when I get to working on the other ones. These right here are busy enough with that magazine cutout that they don't need it, but when I get to working on the plain ones, I will use some of these die cuts that I made and the larger pieces. This right now, I'm just using the tiniest little pieces I can find. And then I've got kind of a direction that I'm heading on everything before I ever glue anything down. And I may not use every single element that I put down there. I may switch out and add something completely different by the time that it gets to me actually getting the glue out. But I've got it going. And so the next thing I'll do is I'll start gluing, and sometimes you just have to kind of make a decision and get to going. But I've got more of these butterflies if I need them. I've got lots of little scrappy bits, little small bits if I need them. And then I shall get going with it. Okay, well, I hope this gives you some ideas that you can use. I've found that since I've been doing this, that this really helps me because I spend a lot of time gathering things together for each piece before I actually start gluing anything down. And it goes a lot easier for me in the long run, and it's just a more organized approach. And I don't feel like I'm hunting all over the place for some little perfect element. For one thing, I can get the basics down, and usually starting with the textile, fabric, and lace elements. I can get those down, and then I can put the little finishing touches on top once I've got the base elements ready to go. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram at Becky's Journals, and I'm also around all the Facebook groups too. Have a great day. Come back and see me soon. Bye-bye.